Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I am alone, and I'll be discussing the first season of the Fallout show. Now, if I sound a bit sick, it's because I am. I probably shouldn't be recording an episode that's gonna be as long as this one will probably be. But, whatever the fuck, right? I have to. To pretty much. I'm not delaying this shit. I'm trying to catch up to whatever episode we'll be on. So I want to. I need this to to record. Doesn't matter if I'm sick or not, but hopefully I'll get better tomorrow or the day after, so I can record some more. And if I can't, then R.I.P. My voice is probably gonna be gone tomorrow. So yeah, I'm not particularly excited for that. However, I have to. But anyways, yeah, Fallout. So this has been a show that has been on my radar for a while. I didn't watch it when it came out, unfortunately. I heard a lot of good things about the show, which was surprising me because goddamn, we have been on a cold streak when it comes to video game adaptations in 2024. At least for what we reviewed thus far, which which doesn't include, uh, you know, the Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I think that's pretty obvious. But however, from what we reviewed from 2024, it's not been good. It has not been a good year for video game adaptations. I know that Arcane Season 2 came out, but I've not watched Arcane. Yeah, and also I I don't I didn't watch it, and I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about Arcane Season 2. A lot of people really like Season 1. I think I've heard mixed things about Season 2 from people who love it or people who hate it. I have not heard a concrete opinion on Season 2. So, but we'll eventually get to Arcane. I just don't know when that will be. So, yeah. Anyways, this show. So, wasn't the best year. We still have a lot of things to go from 2024. Especially a few episodes from now when we have to discuss the Borderlands movie. God. But yeah, like it wasn't the best year for video game adaptations. Like we had Knuckles, like in that sort of time span, and we had Sonic Prime, we had Halo. I thought Sonic Prime Season 3 was okay. Halo was bad. I mean, that was last episode. That was last episode. That was last modern episode. Then we had. Then after Fallout, I forget. There was Knuckles. I've not watched Knuckles yet. I've heard it's good. I think. I've heard it's good. Not like the best thing ever, but I've heard it's good. What else came out? Again, Borderlands. I know people don't like it. I haven't watched Arcane. Was it really not that much? Hold on. Video game. Okay, video game adaptations. List of films. Okay, that's not what I want. List of video game adaptations in film and television. That should be good. Okay, list of television series. Okay, I don't fucking care. How about this? What? Excuse me. Let's see here. Where am I? Halo, yeah. Resident Evil, that was one. Knuckles. Fallout. Like a Dragon, which is still pending. What else is there? There wasn't a lot. And then for movies, what is this? This is international. Got it. This is an animated. Here we go. This is an animated. Oh yeah, the Arc one came out. Like half of the Arc one came out. I don't know if there's. Yeah, I don't know if the Arc one. Oh yeah, secret level. Give me a second. I don't know if the Arc one's done. Second part set, yeah. So the first 6 episodes of 12 were released, to my knowledge. But let's see here. Yeah, the first half released in 2024, and then the remaining 7 episodes of season are set to premiere in 2025. So yeah, like, well, like the thing is with this show is the fact that it hasn't ended yet. Like, I'll eventually get to watching it. However, I'll consider it as a new type episode, the arc, because the season just isn't done yet. Like, it's not done. We're still 7 episodes of the season are like missing pretty much. So sure, it started as it was it is 2024. However, it's gonna end in 2025, or how maybe in 2026 it just keeps getting fucking delayed. I don't know when this show will officially end. So yeah, it's up in the air. Definitely. So we'll see, but I don't know. Yeah, that's how it's going to work. If that episode, if a series isn't done its like initial release year, it's gonna count as new. What if it bleeds over to another year, and then it finishes in a year, and we are still around that year. But yeah, Arc was a thing. For movies, I know Borderlands was there. And it wasn't a good one. There was the Tomb Raider one, Like a Dragon, Sonic 3 at the end. Yeah, no, it wasn't the best year. It had like a few great. It had a few good ones here and there, but Fallout was definitely the standout one. It won Best Adaptation at the Game Awards that year, which a lot of people thought that Arcane was gonna win, and I said that pretty much. I remember when I was watch partying with some friends, and I said if Arcane doesn't win, Twitter's gonna go on fire, and then Arcane didn't win, and it was Fallout. So yeah, honestly, that was a surprise. However, was it a mistake? Is Fallout good enough to surpass Arcane in this category? That is the question. That is the big question here. So yeah, no, does it deserve that award, that quote unquote prestigious award of the best video game adaptation of 2024? Does it really? Where the fuck is the other earphone? Did it fall into? God. Okay. There it is. Hopefully the audio wasn't terrible. Wait a second. I don't know if that's the microphone. Sorry if I blew out your fucking eardrums on that. If it is the microphone, but yeah. Talking about. Yeah, no, let's see if it does live up to that. So yeah, Fallout Season 1. The next video game adaptation. It's gonna be not the last one, definitely. We still have some to go. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna try to make this episode a bit shorter just to not strain my voice as much, even though my voice doesn't feel bad, like my throat doesn't feel bad. I think it would be best to excuse me, to get this done quicker Oh, not like 30 rush, not like fucking rush it, but definitely to get this done quicker. Sorry for the 10-minute intro as well, sorry. Yeah, let's just get into it. Starting off, we always start off with the CGI in action. I think the CGI in the show is very good. Obviously, there's going to be that expectation. The show is produced by Amazon, and it's all on Amazon Prime Video. So that sort of expectation is there for it being a very high quality show. Amazon is one of the richest companies in the world, and they usually dump a lot of money into their series. Like the budget for Rings of Power. The budget for the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power, it is the most expensive show in the entire world. It cost them $1 billion. Excuse me. Yeah. So if they're willing to drop that amount of money for the show, I would hope that they would have dropped what is it, like, yeah, I would hope that that this show would look good, and it does. It really does. I think there's no bad parts in CGI on the show. Really, it all looks really, really good. And I don't know what the budget. I'm gonna look up the budget. I think it's like 100. It's like 150 million, 153 million. Yep. It was $153 million budget for the first season. So that was it's about what a Marvel movie is, and that is insane. But I think it definitely shows. I think the show definitely makes use of that budget, and it has a lot of these scenes, and it really needs to, because what do you call it? There's a lot of stuff here, like, I don't know what they're not. I forgot the name of, like, the big salamander mutant thing. Like, that looks insane for a TV show, and not even that. Like, the makeup department for the show is also really good, and I'm pretty sure that some of these things are puppets or animatronics. Like, it's not just CGI. Like, everything, both practical, special, like, anything in the show looks really, really good. And the action as well is also really, really good. I like everything to do with the ghoul action sequences, the Brotherhood of Steel, the T-60 power armor. Like, all of that looks really good. There's not a lot of I mean, okay, fine, there is quite a bit of action in the show. However, it's never the real focus of it. But when it's there, it really does shine. So yeah, it looks really, really good. I don't think there's any real dips in the quality ever. Again, like, it all looks really solid, and there's something you can definitely tell are between practical CGI, but that's really anything. When you're presented with the real thing and like a fake thing, like, if for example, Jurassic World, there was the real blue, like, prop, like, animatronic. Like, you could tell that was real when everything else is a CGI, like, creation, pretty much. Like, every other scene with blue is CGI. You can definitely tell, like, that looks different, that looks real, that looks a lot more real. And yeah, no, in here obviously that's the same, but it doesn't like deviate, and you can tell which is which is CGI, which is a practical effect. But I don't think it really detracts from the overall like experience and enjoyment from the viewing. I don't think it does. I think the CGI in the show is really good for what it is. It is a show. It's sure it's 8 episodes, so not a lot of not a lot of episodes to really spread the budget around. So, but yeah, like it's still impressive because a lot of a lot of shows, here like for example Marvel shows, like live action shows, they have like around the same amount of budget, like budget for Falcon. I think that's the last one we got. That was like a big budget. Falcon and Soldier. It was 150 million. And what was the one for She-Hulk? I think She-Hulk was higher. She-Hulk. Yeah. So the budget for She-Hulk was 225 million, and the CGI in that looks bad. Like it doesn't look good. So seeing this amount of budget being spread around, and definitely in the way that Fallout is, with having not just the CGI being to worry about, but also the practical effects, and making the world look real, making the sets like there are sets in here. Like I think it's really good. I think it's really cool. So yeah, like I think they use the budget well, and the show looks good for it. Like it does. Like this, the department in visuals really does shine. But yeah, visuals can only really get you so far. So let's talk about the characters. Starting with Lucy McLean or McLean. Well, I forgot how you spell it within the show, but what I saw when the show was coming out, I remember this vividly. There was some Twitter discussion about this character and how she acts kind of dumb and all that, and yeah, towards the beginning, where they're trying to discuss the situation with the ghoul in a dumb way, and the thing is, that's part of the character. I don't know what things are expected for her just to kind of know what the wasteland already was like. Come on, really? No, that's not how this works. That is not how any of this works. So, but I really like Lucy McLean as a character. I really do. I think that I think that that she was handled really well. I think that the characterization of her being her trying to follow this protocol, and us seeing how she's had such a like obviously a sheltered life, and all that, and seeing how she tries to handle things, but also seeing how she evolves throughout the show, I think is really interesting. And yeah, no, I there's a lot to say, really. She goes through a lot in this show. It's kind of insane how much she goes through. She gets her finger cut off, then gets a new one, which is I don't know, I don't know if it's like a prosthetic one, or if it's like just like a random ripped off finger just like welded on. But she keeps it throughout the entire show. I did not expect that. But that just goes to show like how anyone can be scarred by the wasteland, and how throughout the show we see her resort to to a lot of barbaric things. Like, well, I mean, not like to survive. Like, for example, when she drinks the irradiated water, and we do see the consequences of that with her having to get a rat away from Maximus. Sorry. Uh, and all that. Yeah, no, I think that the Lucy McLean is definitely a very interesting and I think well written character. And like I said, I like how we see her kind of her downward spiral throughout the show, and her finds some comfort in having Maximus around. I think is really interesting and really good storyline. And and also the her whole motivation, like and seeing like how big of a part she actually really plays into this, and like how like who she really is, like for like her entire motivation is that she wants to go find her father, uh and get Moldaver and all that. And we see how people like know her and all that. Like it's and the effect like she had around people, like for like the ghoul. I'm gonna talk about the ghoul in a few, but yeah, no, I think the ghoul is one of the most. I think it's the best character here, but I think Lucy McLean is definitely a strong protagonist, and her learning like what her father, like who her father really is, and all that. Even though we see the father. God, I cannot fucking sneeze. It's hard. If you guys have ever been sick and haven't and like just have had your nose like edge you when it comes to sneezing, it's the worst feeling. I hate it. I hate it so much, but it's happening to me right now. I can't fucking sneeze. But yeah, Titan. I like Lucy and how we see her evolve and how we see her take like how her being in the wasteland like took like shaped her into like doing it into making decisions she just in the finale and all that. I think it's really cool. Excuse me. But yeah, that is Lucy McLean or McLean, whatever fuck it is. I think it's McLean. Next up is Maximus. I think Maximus is a very interesting secondary protagonist, deuteragonist. Uh, he's an aspiring member uh of the Brotherhood of Steel. He was chosen to be a squire after one of the members. I think their name was like his name was Dane. Purposely uh cut himself cut himself to get away from that, and that's how we got Maximus as the official squire of Lord Titus, and then Lord Titus dies, and now Maximus takes over and has to lie about people, but lie to people about him being Titus, and yeah, no, I think it's a lot of I think it's something that's probably been done before. It's something done with characters before, but it's always like it's interesting to see here in Fallout. Continuity error here. Hello. I'm recording this apparently 2 days after the initial recording. I realized that I could not continue the recording that sick with that many sniffling and such with the sick, with my nose. So yeah, this is 2 days after. If I sound less sick, it's because I am less sick. Anyways, let's just continue on. Maximus, right? Yeah. Okay, so like I was saying, I'm pretty sure that the what? Was I talking about Maximus? Was I talking about Lucy? I don't remember. I just like I just reread did the not redid. I listened to the recording again. Also, the reason why I'm not even like going to redo the first 23 minutes is because I'm not throwing out 23 minutes of recording. I'm just not fucking doing that, man. That's yeah. Especially getting through like 3 points in 23 minutes. I'm not just going to fucking let that go to waste. So, like, it's very short and it's a lot of time. I don't want to invest. So yeah, I'll just do the rest of the episode. Maximus. Okay, so I don't even know what I was saying. It was probably gonna be very stupid. I guess I could not think. I couldn't think about anything there. So, I like Maximus a lot. I think I was talking about like his story being like it's like very common in Fallout. Like it would be like it's something that's at least like somewhat common in Fallout. He's aspiring, but he's also kind of like he's just an interesting storyline. Where he like I was like explained at the beginning, he lets his knight die because he was an asshole to him, and then we have his whole relationship with the relationship between him and the other character Thaddeus that we have there, which I thought was an interesting dynamic, especially since Maximus had to lie to everybody, including Lucy, even though he had really no reason. But I feel like that's the main reason, that he had no reason to lie to her. So, having, so him lying, it's like trying to like make it seem a little bit more real to people, and to keep his story consistent, even though he would eventually have to, eventually reveal himself, and he does to Thaddeus, and he leaves him in the armor. Takes away his power core, or fusion core. It's called fusion core. And I think Maximus is a very interesting character, and something that we don't really see. Like I think his type of character we do see a lot in Fallout, but him being the protagonist isn't something we really see in Fallout. I know this because it's one of the main things about the fucking game. The players play Vault Dwellers, so us following a Brotherhood of Steel member is interesting. It's an interesting take. We can explore this I guess faction more, and like the people who are in it and who grow in it. And also I just kind of like Maximus' story as a whole, because it ties into what I'm gonna talk about in the plot, which is the interconnectedness. So to kind of explain this, in the show there is a sort of plot line. Like Lucy is from the time that the show takes place, which is I think 2096? No, 2296. That's when the show takes place in the timeline. I think that's the latest point in the timeline. Fallout timeline. I think this show specifically is canon. To my understanding, this show is canon. So yeah. God. 30th century? An electronic invasion. Okay. Well, thanks for again. It's amazing to hear that at the end of their equipment's ability to sustain faults. Okay. Ah. 2096, season 1 of Fallout. Fallout 4 in 2286 or 2022 86. There we go. Fallout Shady Sands. Yep. Finally Vegas ends. Yeah, no, like the timeline, like the fall show is the latest point in timeline, which is, I would say, is around the best way to kind of have that, since by that point you you can like mold it around better. So yeah, that's what I think. But I think that sort of it's, and also, and okay, what I was going to is how Lucy's from this is from like this time, but she was a vault dweller. She is a vault dweller. I guess I guess it is. I guess it's supposed to be was, and apparently, and she has been taught that the bombs dropped in 2077. Well, interestingly enough, Maximus says that the bombs dropped when he was a kid, in I don't know when, but probably in the 2200s, in the 23rd century. So we have this interesting mystery going on, and we go to Shady Sands, and we see that there's a gigantic crater, and we think, like, it's, people think that, and I think what we like to believe is that this is part of the of what happened during the Great War. But what we actually learn is that Heck McClane, I will talk about him later, dropped the bombs on Shady Sands to get Moldaver and his wife Rose killed, and to get his children back. And it ties into the backstory of Maximus, and that also ties in, and then separately it ties into the Ghoul, because Hank McClane is from before the war. I think that's all really cool. I will talk about that later, but I like this sort of thing they did with Maximus, and his backstory, and also just him as a character, and how like in Vol 4, we see how he grows accustomed to that life, and how he wants to kind of have that. Then we see, and we also see like just how life has been on the surface to the surface dweller, which is something that we don't really see in Fallout, at least in the games. I don't think we only really see that with second hand. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that we do get to see this, because yeah, no. It was I think it was definitely the right choice to have this character here, and also how what do you call it, and also how we see him like more form this relationship with Lucy, and all that, how he's kind of a loser within the Brotherhood of Steel, but we also see how at the end he is made a knight of the Brotherhood of Steel. So they have interesting ways to take the character, and we'll see how he evolves through this, because he was generally a coward and not really and not really like worthy of being a knight. Not really like what would you consider a knight, but then we see how other people are also not really like doing things that would be considered something that a knight does. So yeah, that's what I see, from here. So yeah, no, I think Maximus is an interesting character throughout the show, and yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the Ghoul / Cooper Howard. Right, so I think this character is the best character in the entire show, and this is because of like how much is written for him, obviously, but just kind of how interesting the character is and how he's presented. So, the ghoul it is at first presented as being a villain, full out, full stop. This guy's a bad guy. But we learned throughout the show that he has his reasons, and obviously, he is a ghoul. He has pretty much been cursed with living forever unless someone shoots him in the head or stops giving him the drops he needs to live. So might as well go on an eternal quest for vengeance. And not even that. He is trying to find his wife and child that we saw that that he doesn't know where they are. He was left to die in the wasteland, and he just did not find, he could not find his wife and daughter. And honestly, just kind of like how the character is presented, just kind of in general. I like the fact that he had ties to Vault-Tec in some way. His wife worked for Vault-Tec. So seeing that, and also just and seeing how he was kind of made to go against her by Moldaver, in a way, like spying on her. We don't really see the resolution for that, but what I feel, and it's kind of intruding on the plot, is that we didn't really need that for the character of the ghoul. Obviously, for the plot wise, it's something that, it's unresolved, but I feel like how we left it unresolved, it didn't really make it feel unresolved, if that makes any sense. I felt that the show used the mystery well enough where it was a plot twist, but we kind of saw it coming, and we've always sort of seen that. But no, and we've seen like hints towards that here and there, that said I forgot what I was even talking about. I have short-term memory loss, man. I can't do this shit. Okay. Hinting at what? I'll just fucking say, like, the mystery, right? The mystery of, like, why does everyone want, like, Moldaver? What's going on with the plot? Why keep the data alive and all that? And, and seeing, and also keeping the mystery alive for season 2. Even though there is a mystery still, it doesn't feel like it's there because now we know what the true involvement is, what is going on with the characters and what it all means and how it's all connected, and definitely what it means for what the ghoul wants as a character. So throughout the show, we are obviously faced with the fact that he is not a good guy, but he is sort of on a understandable mission where he just kind of wants to find his wife and child, if they're even still out there, and he's going after Vault 31 members or dwellers, because they are the ones that were frozen. And also, that whole mystery is another can of worms that I'll get into when we get to the plot, and I think with the next character I'll talk about it. But again, I really like the character of the ghoul, and even then we do see sort of a humanity in him in his ghoul form, when we see him with dog meat, the dog, and how he still misses like, even after all those years, he does miss his dog from back before the war. Obviously, sadly, we are led to believe that that dog died because the vault didn't allow pets. And that's kind of when he started, like, questioning things. And then like the next, like, a few episodes later, we see like cats and things in the vaults. So yeah, no, like we like, so that was like that's the thing that was brought up there. So I really like the character of the Ghoul and him. And honestly, I like how much they left open while answering so much, with the character and all that. So, and I can't wait for the scene what we see in season 2. Now he's gonna be a big player within the. He's gonna be a big player within the story. Like in here, he was there, and obviously all the flashback sequences, even the first, the opening of the show, the opening of season of episode 1, is his flashback, and we see how it all kind of ends. And even then, we don't see the end of it. We see him, getting away, but we don't really see the aftermath, and we know he left. So like, and we left with his daughter. So like, what happened between then and now? You know, what we all see is like after, it's before that. So yeah. I really like that. I really like what they're doing with the Ghoul, and I can't wait to see more of him in season 2, thanks to what they're doing, and how it's shaping up. But yeah, let's move on to the next character, Norm MacLean. I don't have, for these next 3, it's mostly just gonna be me talking about like how I think their arcs are really good. And not much else, because I just kind of went over the main ones. Norm MacLean, I think at first I was unsure of us going back to Vault 33. I was unsure of keeping a thing there, but I appreciated it because it wasn't just, they didn't introduce all these characters to just kind of have them there for the first 2 episodes or such. Or first, because goddamn, these episodes were long. Let's not mistake. It's not. Let's not. Let's see how it is. These episodes are really long, but I appreciated it because we didn't. It wasn't just kind of leaving it there, just because we actually got like a. We actually got these as characters, and I really appreciated when we found out the twist that Norm found out, and how he kept like probing at things and how things didn't really make any sense. I liked Norm as a character quite well, and I was really impressed. Again, I wasn't sure if it was necessary to actually come back here to Vault 33, but I think Norm as a character really proved it to me that yeah, it was something necessary to the plot. And I really had a character that I really enjoyed, and actually was like interested in seeing like how we discovered more and how he solved the mystery. So yeah, no, and the mystery of Vault 31, which I will get to later because that's part of the plot. But no, I like Norm a lot. I think Norm is a very interesting character. Is a very interesting character. I don't know what they're gonna do with him in season 2. We know he's trapped in Vault 31. So yeah, like that's probably where they're gonna take him next. If I had to take a guess, what they're gonna do with Norm, I think that's the last we see of him. Is in the vault. If I had to take a guess, we might see him like escape or something, or we might see people from Vault 31 I forgot his name, Chet, right? Chet, but we might see Chet, not Chet, Chet. Like it doesn't matter what I fucking say it sounds like I'm saying shit. But Chet, uh, it like we might see him try to find him because like he was on the tail, like Norm was on the tail of all of this, like Vault 31 stuff, and then he just disappears. Like, well, I mean, there's something there. Yeah, I like to see where they take Norm next, just because I think he was an interesting part of the show, and he kept he kept the mystery alive because I feel like without his inclusion and without him getting an actual character and like us seeing everything here, I don't think we could have gotten a single. I don't think we could have gotten we couldn't have like really gotten the impact of it because I think again I think his character was uh I think his character like what was this? Thanks to the Hank McLean twist or McLean twist. So yeah, no, I think I think Norm was a very necessary inclusion here to be the plot, and you know I appreciated it because we got just we he didn't just become like a nothing character we saw we didn't see after season one after episode one. Sorry, but yeah. Next up is Lee Moldaver. There is not a lot to say about this character, to be completely honest. She is sort of she's the main driving force of the entire show. Because we see her at the start and we see that she kidnaps she kidnaps Hank McLean, and that's the last we really see of her for a while. Lucy is going after her to get her dad back. Uh, we see that people recognize the name Moldaver and all that, and how like Moldaver has this sort of net of people, and how the ghoul knows her. So there's also this little mystery around like who really is Moldaver, and of course through the Cooper Howard's just flashback sequences, or it's just flashback in general. We see we see who Moldaver really is, and we see that she was alive before the war, which raises a lot of questions, like how is she, how did she live, you know? I guess we'll find out in season 2, because, well, I mean, she's dead. Whoops. Well, we'll find out eventually. I would think it's a big part of what season 2 will be, and definitely a thing that we should have answered. Like, how she managed to live. But yeah, no, um, what was I saying? Uh, you know, like, that's something they have to explain eventually. I would think because she doesn't seem to be a ghoul. I mean, they did sort of leave that, uh, what do you call it? The Thaddeus thing. The Thaddeus became a ghoul. I didn't talk about it here, but Thaddeus became a ghoul. But he kind of looked normal. Like he looked like a normal human. He just couldn't die. So maybe that's part of it. That he just that Moldaver had like a really big source of that sort of that liquid. So yeah. But yeah, we see Moldaver before then. We see and Moldaver, uh, Moldaver, oh fuck, it gives Cooper the mission of pretty much spying on his wife at work to get. uh, fuck. Yeah. And we see, and we also see like how, and also she was part of like a Vault 4 sort of like culture, I guess, of the ones that came from the surface world, where she's known as a flame mother, flame mother, flame mother. uh and I like that because that ties into like what we had with Rose McLean, and how like Moldaver had had Shady Sands. She was part of the and of that community in Shady Sands, and sort of like gave them like a home and all that. And we see, I mean, all that got bombed, and all these people went to Vault 4, except for uh for for except for Maximus. So I like, I would like to see, I don't know if more of her, but we'll probably see more of her thanks to the Ghoul, and all that. I think it's very likely that we'll see more of Moldaver, and especially how like, I'm gonna assume that they're gonna leave her and Rose's relationship open ended, like just kind of like whatever you want me to believe. But yeah, we'll definitely see like what they do. I'm very interested in that. But yeah, no, let's move on to the final character I want to talk about, which is Hank McLean. Hank McLean, I'm pretty sure is gonna be our next villain. He doesn't show up a lot, but I love what the twist is here. I got, like I mentioned, like I'm probably mentioned earlier when I was fucking sick. I like Lucy's story is very similar to what the Fallout 4 story is. Now I haven't played Fallout to its completion, but I did play it quite a bit to know, and definitely looked it up. That in Fallout 4, you're playing as the parent of a child, and that child, and you go to a vault, and then that child gets captured by I remember who, but then but then when you go out there, it's been years and years after all of that, and you find your kid, and he's older than you pretty much, and he's doing horrible things to experiments on kids and all that. I think that's what it is in the game. So you're faced with killing him, you can kill him, you can join him, you can renounce him, and all that. Yeah, and that sort of stuff, this reminds me of that, but sort of a reversed way, and kind of more fucked up, because Hank McLean is from before the war, and he was off Voltec, so definitely helped. And what it was, at least what I think it was, is that like, well, I mean, yeah, is that Vault 31 and Vault 32 and Vault 33 were experiments to keep Vault-Tec in power, pretty much, by having people that were like close to Vault-Tec higher ups, you know, sort of be there, like always be there, and always have power and all that. So I think, again, very interesting, and obviously, and Hank isn't who he said, isn't who he was, and that sort of came with the mystery of all it. That Hank came from Vault 31. We also have the whole thing that Stephanie became the overseer, and she's from Vault 31. So Vault 31. So at least it's him. So I think it's very open and shut that Stephanie is from also before the war. We'll probably see that at some point. That nobody really knows what's going on in Vault 31. So we'll definitely see what they do with Hank McLean. Obviously now he's out there in the wasteland, so I think he's probably going to be a really big part of season 2. Yeah, we'll see. And I think I don't know where he went. Honestly, Hank. I believe I believe that he he was even walking this several miles away from New Vegas. So yeah, we're gonna see him next in New Vegas, which is an interesting. It's interesting to see that that's where we're going next. The New Vegas scene, the teaser for season 2. That is definitely not destroyed. So yeah, no, we'll be going to New Vegas for season 2. I'll talk about that in the future. But yeah, I don't there's not much more to say about him other than I can't wait to see what they do with him, and I like the mystery around him. So yeah, no, let's move on to the plot, which is something that I've been hyping up a lot. So I already talked about the mystery of the whole show, where of the experiment. So every vault in Fallout has an experiment to see what to see like what they could what people could get away with here and how to optimally survive. And the experiment, I'm guessing for here, is like how like keeping it's mostly to be keeping Vault-Tec in power, and I guess just gaslighting people because like I said, the people from Vault 31 aren't really real. They're from before the war, and they sort of just and they were handpicked to keep those values there so they can repopulate the earth. So just kind of keeping Vault-Tec in power and keeping those Vault-Tec values in place. So when they eventually go out to repopulate the world, it's again that sort of it's again just keeping Vault-Tec in power and having having Vault-Tec have some presence in the world. And again, and like I've been saying, we see that throughout the characters and how just connected everything is. Like I said, Maximus was from Shady Sands, and he saw the nukes that were dropped because of Hank McClane to get the kids out of Rose. And we see Moldaver, we see Vault 4. At first, I was really confused, like what Vault 4 meant. Because I'm fucking dumb, I guess. But I was pondering how how Moldaver was related to Vault 4 and all that. It clicked with me. It clicked to me like what actually happened there, and I realized, oh yeah, no, this shows has a really good story. Was really well written, and it just made everything connect. I just love that. And again, the Ghoul. Last thing I expected was the Ghoul to have some sort of connection to all of this, and especially in the big way that he had a direct connection to Vault-Tec. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see those flashbacks come in where we see him confronting his wife about it, or like at least something, because it has to lead to somewhere. I would think. But yeah, no, like nothing. I don't think anything in the show is like a wasted thing. There's really nothing I would consider done wrong here with the plot, and there are some things you could definitely nitpick. Again, Moldaver not really having like an origin story, but again, we're gonna see that in season 2. I would think, and I can't really fault it for that because there are things that this show doesn't really explain all that much. I would say. I think the Thaddeus stuff is probably the Thaddeus stuff is probably gonna get in season 2. Like it's the thing that isn't here that is here, but it's not really done a lot with. But I don't mind a lot, really. And again, and also the whole plot with the doctor in the head and all that. Like that is also a big part of it all. And like what Moldaver wants, because after Shady Sands, Moldaver just wanted to get people like a place like in living conditions. So yeah, and he had like in his like connected to him like a chip or something that could give them cold. I think it's cold fusion, which just pretty much gives them unlimited power. So yeah, it was an interesting plot point here, but we'll see how it all goes uh, in season 2. But I don't think anything was wasted. I don't think anything like overstayed its welcome or really hindered the series a lot or like dragged it down. I think everything played its role, and there was nothing wasted. It is a bit long, but I don't really mind that. Again, okay, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. It's something I've been saying for a long time. For very long, I've been seeing complaints recently within sort of just the space that people don't like the fact that we have shorter series, shorter episodes. The norm back then was 22 episodes, and they're being like an hour long. I would fucking kill myself if that was the thing that was like the norm now. But I've been seeing people not like the new norm where now it's eight episodes a series, like everything's a mini series now, and only one season. I think that this show is sort of the perfection of this, of like it's just this, where we have short like it's 8 episodes, not a long series, but we have long run times which make use of all that. Sure, the credits are 6 minutes, so you can take away 6 minutes of the show. Like but the runtimes are long enough that you can tell the story that like the show can tell the story it wants to tell, and also leave it open for more seasons while still having the season be satisfactory for the viewers. That is what I've been saying for so long, and I can't believe it took me this long to watch this show. And I should give myself I should. This is a crime that I did not watch this show when it not when it started airing because it released all at once, but like at least when it released, because I should have seen this sooner. Really, I really should have seen this sooner. It is such a good show. It really is. I highly recommend it to anybody who's not even. You don't even need to be a fan of Fallout. That's the best thing about this. You don't even need to be a fan of Fallout to enjoy this show. There are a lot of video game adaptations. I know people don't really watch video game adaptations because people think that you need to be a video game fan to understand them. This show is not like that, and shows like The Last of Us are not like that. Last of Us is a pretty well-made adaptation of the games. You're not getting the game's experience, but you're definitely getting the story and its characters and all that. So I really like that. I really like at least the first season of The Last of Us. I have not watched season 2 just yet. But yeah, yeah, no, I really like how the plot progresses here and how much even though it leaves things open. That's it. It just leaves things open. It's not like it's unexplained. Here, the plot is satisfactory. We learn a lot of things here that explain the world and explain the characters. Yeah, no, I think that they did a superb job with the writing here, with the plot, and it's long enough to sustain itself. So yeah, no, let's talk about that's it. Let's talk about the future. Again, like I've been saying a lot, the characters are pretty divided. We will probably be getting more flashbacks with Cooper Howard, spying on Voltec through his wife. And with Moldaver and all that, so we'll get more information with Moldaver. Hopefully, we'll see. Maximus is now with the Brotherhood of Steel, and now he's gonna be at night, so that'll be I think a thing character arc that he has to sort of own up to being that now. He has to sort of step it up now with him being a knight. And also Lucy with the ghoul, so they're gonna be sort of the main plot moving forward, and the dad, him going to New Vegas. So I think a lot of season 2 will take will take things from New Vegas, which I know New Vegas is a big thing in the Vol community. A lot of people really love New Vegas. So, yeah, you guys get your time in the spotlight here with the show. So yeah, no, there's a lot of things that they could do with season 2, and season 2 is coming out this year. Yeah, no, they're also doing a yearly season. It seems like I don't know if that's gonna be the case, but I know season 3 just got renewed, and we're getting season two in December. So we'll be getting we'll be getting Fallout this year. Quite a bit of stuff if they do like yearly seasons. So I really can't wait to see what they do with the story of Fall moving forward, especially with us having season 2 and season 3. I feel like they could definitely go for more, but if we're only gonna get 3 seasons, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind. I think it could serve its time. Like it's theirs to serve its time. What the fuck? Like it could serve its purpose. It could have its time. I really think that that they could, like, if it stays with this amount of quality, I think this show could last quite a bit. But if they just want to do 3 seasons, I'm all for it too. I wouldn't mind. But that's Fallout. So on the ranking, so just kind of conclusion, Fallout is one of the best video game adaptations that have come out in the last few years, and you don't even need to be a fan of the games. You get well-written characters, a well-written mystery, a well-written plot, well-written world, and it's all tied to the game. So hey, if you play the games because of it, I know that the game's got a big spike after the show. Go try it out. Honestly, go try out the games, and hopefully you're looking forward to season 2, because I know I am. So I'm gonna give Fallout Season 1 an S tier. Yes, S tier. I know other people think that the show is just kind of good or great, but not all, like peak. But I think this show is peak. I really do. I think if you're not watching Fallout, you're missing out, man. So yeah, Fallout Season 1 goes on the S tier. It is up there, really. If you can play the games, honestly. But just watch the show. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, or you have other ways of getting content, just watch the Fallout show. I can see why it got nominated, why it won Best Adaptation of 2024. So that's about it. What did you guys think about the Fallout show? Leave in the comments below. All our socials on the description, and if you're on Spotify and listening to us, you can follow us to stay updated with our content. And if you enjoyed this episode or just the podcast overall, you can rate us, or if you disliked us, whatever suits your fancy. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to stay updated with our content. Like if you like the episode, dislike if you dislike it. Share it on everything is worth sharing. And that's about it. See ya.